Yo, what's up, everybody? We're here with Zeke, the legendary Zeke with the legendary triangles. Yo, Zeke, how many triangles did you hit today? You counted.
Probably four.
Four? Just four. Do you, let me ask you, Zeke, do you subscribe to the Happy Pill on YouTube?
I sure do.
You do? Do you hit the like button when you see nice videos? I know most of them are nice.
Always.
And do you share these videos with your friends?
Of course. Why wouldn't I?
I mean, some people, you know, they don't know where the share button is. Also, another thing that I recently learned is that I need to tell people to also check in the video description, because there's important information in there about background info on the technique, stuff about Professor Mike, ways you can connect with the Happy Pill, ways you support the channel. So do you also check the video description?
Of course. That's the most important part.
That's the most important part. Yo, guys, be like Zeke, like, share, subscribe, hit 4 triangles a day. So in the Omoplata that we're working, he's going to have a couple of escapes. One is that he backs up into me and he jumps over to the side, and upon landing he cross faces me and comes back. There are a couple of details that we said that we wanted to capture. When they jump backwards, they're not landing with their legs spread out in a parallel position to the mat. So when they land, they should be landing looking at me. Look, jump. Because the moment they land, they want to figure out where my hand lines are to come back and attack me, or cross face me and square up again on me to drive me back. So upon landing, look at me, land like this. There's no reason to land squared up. There's no reason, because the moment you land squared up, I lace this leg through and I recover guard. So you should have been doing where you're blocking my position, right, to slide. I'm like this, right? Let me have that from the beginning. Yeah. I don't want to lose this guy. So he's gonna knee elbow escape. So upon jumping, he's like this. He should be driving into me, right, upon the land, lay it down, like this. So there's no V pocket for me to recover. So now as he establishes his cross face, you can square up on me. But I don't want to leave this where you land like you did, squared up. Stay right there for me. Stay right there, I'm out. Right? If I'm the bottom player, Martin, could I have you in there with him? Yeah, go in there. And land squared. And then Rafi, come on this side when he jumps it, right? He's gonna come land square. Come on this side. There's a massive V pocket for Ethan to slide through and recapture the position. Do that again, Ethan? Yeah, go back again, right? You're like this, and now he jumps, right, and lands squared. Come on this side, Raf. This massive V pocket here, right, is the reason this knee slides through and he recovers guard, right? So upon landing, go backwards this time. Upon landing, you should be facing him and driving this as a shield. This time land it. Yes. Yeah. So now, Rafi, come on this side. Now he's driving in to block this pocket. And now he's captured, and as he's getting him supine, now the opening happens to him to slide back and recapture here. So pay attention to why you're sliding, why you're landing that way also, because I also want to be able to see where his hand positions are. So if he extends his arms out, I'll grab his wrist, and then potentially we can go into the series that we just did earlier, right? So let's go back again, right? Let me get in there for a second, right? So that was one of those. So on the second one, we said that he was going to do Renzo's move where he rolls the other way. So I bid on tight and I come up also. My whole emphasis on the roll, because I know he mechanically is going to go into a swivel, is to squeeze this as tight as possible. For him to finish and come up, he's got to retract this elbow and put it behind his lat for him to mechanically come up as a person, okay? So you squeeze as tight as possible, because I do have a small frame depending how deep I am here. But I also hold a line. He holds nothing. So as he's coming up, the only thing he has is momentum. So as he's coming up, I'm reaching for his wrist right away, because what's going to happen is I would love to do this. Don't put your hands together, right? You're like this. Go back again. Yeah. Reason I'm going to say don't put your hands together in a high level pace, they're not going to be together. By the time he puts his hands together like this, I'm already grabbing this leg. So he's going to, if you go back a step in how this all happened, I turn the corner and now I'm yanking him down. That's when he should have went. And I'm up. and now I just caught it. Back again, right? Because that's how it's really going to play out. He starts fiddling and put his hands together, good luck. I start fiddling too down here. So now we are here. I made separation of the arm. I'm making the turn, and he just realized I cleared him. So I come up also. I grab, and now there are variations of this. I said to grab, and because you were holding this so that he couldn't retract it, I'm not going to lace through a Kimura yet. I'm just going to hold my position, okay? What I cared about was using this as stability, that I slide this leg out. This bottom leg is going to go to the rear side of his headline. So as he's coming up, only thing I'm doing is taking his bottom leg and sliding it behind him. So that as I fall back, I'm perfectly set, either in an armbar set, or if I wanted to go knee pinching, I go into a Kimura. Let's talk about this a little bit further, so we're not going to go into the dynamics of how to proceed after this, but I do want to tell you this. If you come in here and he jumps, right, and I'm like, go ahead, go on the roll. No, I'm sorry, go on the roll. So he goes on the roll, right, and now I'm like this, and he's coming up, and I grab. And now you're telling me, man, his momentum dictated, we're going to go super slow, that I wasn't able to come up fast enough, and he's coming up. Okay, I still own this. I'm here. And now I got the arm on this side that potentially, if you can collect his calf down here, right, potentially catch his calf, I could potentially finish him. I also could potentially lace through the middle, right, and as I'm cranking and cranking, and he's tripoding, okay, so I come over and I establish and I finish on the other side, right? I could potentially end up where he comes up so fast and now he's in a turtle spot where I'm running behind him to try to finish the arm. As long as I'm comfortable in my sequences after the turn when he's coming up, I have a great opportunity to finish on the other side. So going back to the whole sequence, did that make sense from beginning to end of what his reactions are and what my reactions should be? In competition play, okay, I would prefer that you try to bring him back, because what's going to happen is you come in here, Nathan rolls like that, right? And now I'm like this. I'm coming back and trying to drive in to establish side control because I want to start accumulating points and mounting and stuff. And you go for submissions. Yet I'm not winning. And now there's 100 people in my bracket with 7 fights, and that's the opening. Like, guys will stall you out when you're losing. So in comp, I'd rather you drive it back than sitting here and a guy comes up and you lost this, and now what if I did everything wrong? I was late on every single read, and I got Ethan coming behind me, and now I'm like this, and now he's got his first advantage because I bailed and now I'm in turtle. So you got to understand, like, when am I doing what I'm doing? Why am I doing what I'm doing? Like, you got to ask yourself. George had a great question earlier. He said, Mike, you know, I want to do submissions, but then I worry about points, and then I get confused with the two. Trust me that you will, as your toolbox grows, you'll be able to do both. And I'll prove it, because Renzo Gracie, Rafa Mendes, Marcelo Garcia, the great ones of the sport, can take the gi off or put it on and be champions in both brackets. I'm using an extreme example, but now you're going to tell me that with this simpler thing of like whether I play points or gi, no, their game is gi and no, it's so complex. So if you're just telling me I got to make a choice between points or submission, yeah, I know it's because right now the toolbox is small. But as it expands, like, you're going to know. Like, I'm not playing that game in this setting. Just like you're going to know later that there's certain moves that maybe if you're 150, you're not going to do on a 250-pound player. Shouldn't be in your arsenal. You should have specific games for specific people on strength, their size, their speed, like different games. If you're like 110 pounds, you're going to go deep half guard reversals on a guy that's 270. You should get Darce. You should get Dominic. You should not play that. Your percentages are like, come on. But as you get more advanced, the toolbox grows. So going back to the point about what George's question is, like, as the toolbox grows, and that's why I'm pointing it out. And now we're doing specific training for specific stuff. So I appreciate you guys sticking around. Yeah, thanks, guys. Yeah.